Okay, screen capture software is rolling right now. And come on back and then give it a talk, and then you can switch back to the other profile. And keep in mind, being condition shift and everything, you know, sometimes you have the selective dropouts and all that. So all things considered, all the static crashes, come on back and then talk, and then you can switch back to your other profile.
Okay, Ken, this is a profile that I usually do run, but I was working on the other one a little bit, and I just wanted to see, I wanted to do a comparison to see how one compares to the other one. So, okay, I'll go back to the other one that I'm working on and maybe get a small, snap over here where I can listen and see which one I like the best. I guess I want to say K1WIL, and I'll be right back with the other scene. All right, back on the other scene, and this is the one I'm working on, K1WIL, and just want to do a small comparison, Kenny. I know they're going to be close because I didn't change a whole bunch. I just want to see, the clarity and everything. Just compare that, basically. That's what I want to find out, if one's a little bit clearer than the other one, or maybe the baseline might be a little bit different also. So there you have it, and I appreciate that, Ken, and we'll go from there, and I'll take a listen to that later on, and we'll go from there. K1WIL. Thank you, Kenny.
Sure. Okay, it's weird because sometimes I'll, we're talking on the air, I'll be, have the screen capture going, and it's, it's like watching sports. When you see it live, it seems one way, but when you watch a replay the next day, it looks a little bit different. Same thing here. So as I'm listening to it live right now, this could change later on when me and you listen to this. They sound very, very close. I couldn't tell much of a difference. They both sound fantastic. I've never heard you sound bad. But we'll give it a listen a little bit later on. I'll edit this up, and I'll eliminate all the talking in between so you get them back to back. But very, very similar. And the first time I listened to it, I didn't hear much difference.
Yeah. See, when I do make an adjustment, Ken, I usually do. It's really subtle. I don't know. I don't even know if I'll pick it up, but I know what I've done, so I'll listen for that, and that'll be the key for me. I'll just see if I can pick up on it, or I can pick up on it, and that's the easiest thing to do. I don't like to make a dramatic change because you're going to hear it definitely, but I like to make small changes, and if I can if I can critique that a little bit and I like it, then I'm good with that. But I'm back on the profile that I usually run, K1WIL.
But anyhow, I'm the same way. In fact, I see I'm recording a screen right now. Actually, up on the screen right now, on one of my cues, this is experiment stuff here. This band 4 right here, you'll see when you watch this. I just tried just the tiniest bit. It was, was it a 5.9 dB? It was up to here a little bit, and then I dropped it down. Right here. It's so subtle, nobody else would probably hear it except for me. But I'm with you. I make very slight changes at a time because I don't want to get things to get out of hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do it more for I do it more for myself, because there's certain things, if I listen to my audio, like a lot of times I'll listen to when you do a gate or something, I go there and listen pretty good. I listen with cans on. And I can hear certain things that I'm listening for, maybe somebody else is not picking up, and then I try to critique those a little bit. I don't do a whole bunch of big moves or nothing. It's just slight adjustments, and then if I listen back and I hear that it was either good or bad, then I adjust to that what I hear then.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's so funny. What you're hearing, most people wouldn't even notice, but you do. I know on my end, I'm like. I never really quite liked the way, I don't know, I never liked to listen to myself talk anyhow. In fact, when I'm watching this video on the playback, I'm like, oh my God, would the guy shut up? So we're our own worst critics, you know what I mean? And, I don't know. But anyhow, you always sound great no matter what you do. I've never heard you sound bad.
Yeah, I mean, you do get different opinions, and sometimes I agree and sometimes I disagree. It all depends and I'll go back to this 1,000 times over. People have certain ear for certain things that they want to hear, and then their mind's set to that. So if, like me, I used to run a lot of bass, and I still do to a certain extent, but I try to get away from that a little bit more because of the clarity. I critique and listen and say, well, there's too much bass in there, especially if somebody doesn't have a real good signal on you, and it's going to sound muddy or drummy or something like that. But I learned, I'll tell you what, Ken, and I know you do tons of audio too. You cannot please everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because people have a mindset what they want to hear. Yeah, it's I know about the static crashes. You got to try to not listen through. You got to listen through it basically. So it's not a real good evening for a recording. I know that because I am getting some static crashes here, pretty good ones. So but it'll be enough for what I can probably make a decision whether I want to readjust or what I want to do.
Yeah, plus too, 4KC, it's all relative, it's kind of limited what you can do. Now, if you were down on 160, if nobody was on the beam, when you go to 5KC, then you're really going to hear those changes you make. But I know 4KC is pretty wide compared to the most of the ham guys are like 3300 or 2.9. But it is still 4KC still is very limited. Well, at least a 5KC, that's where you can really tell, especially on them high frequencies. But I'm with you, little subtle changes. And like I said, I was goofing around here today. I shifted my low frequency. I have one final EQ in my on my plugins here. I'll pop on the screen. You'll see it here. I slid BN2. Let's see here. The frequency range is 122 cycles. I had to slid down towards 90. And the way I had this Q factor of this EQ, I was starting to get a little bit of pumping in the low end. So I slid up a little bit more into where my naturally squeaky voice is. So I just decided to enhance what I already have rather than to try to boost something that's not there in my voice. And that's when things get a little bit screwed up. But anyhow, so little slight changes. I don't know whether to save this profile or not. I might just rename this profile something different. But at any rate, yeah, very, very subtle changes.
Yeah, that's another thing with you, Ken. I have never heard you sound bad, believe me. I mean, you always, I know you take pride in your audio and stuff, that's like guys that run this frequency here. Same thing. I mean, they're always trying to make it better and better, but you do get against the wall sometimes. You can only be so good, but then that's all it's going to be. But no, you never sounded bad to me. I've heard you quite often. There's times I've listened to you that, I don't say nothing, but I'm listening. And no, you got it going on there, buddy. That's for sure.
Okay, I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, like I said, I'm on my own worst critic. Every time I listen to myself, I'm like, man, I just don't like the way it sounds, or pick certain frequency range out that it's just like needling me, you know what I mean? But oh well, I think I'll just leave things be. It's never going to be perfect, But if I was doing wider transmit like that on 160, I'd pay a little bit more attention. But no, you guys always sound the same. Even dating back year when I first started listening to you guys. Nobody's ever sounded bad. Like Art and them, I know they've gone through many changes in their audio gear, and they've always sounded very good. So yeah, that's a talent, man.
Yeah, with different pieces of equipment, I run my old setup. I run a lot of rack gear, which I'm running digital now. Same difference, I guess, but I run a lot of analog. And I'll tell you what, I fell in love with that 2496. I think that's one of that and the exciter. Those two pieces of equipment are, they're top shelf. If you get them things set up right, man, they sound good. And plus you got out there you got the Bolaris and stuff like that. And I've heard guys talking on them, which they're top shelf too. They sound just pristine when you hear them get them dialed in just right.
Yeah, that's key. Knowing what you're doing. Somebody really knows what they're doing. They can have just like a couple pieces of rack gear and sound fantastic. Same thing with the the VST. But it doesn't matter what you have. You got to know how to run it. So in the right hands, pretty much anything can sound good. Which one of those guys? I can't remember who that was. damn it, I have to go way back. I can't remember who it was who was running a rack here, and just it was just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And then I think this person, damn, I wish I could remember who that was, switched to the VST and still sounded absolutely fantastic. You couldn't tell the difference between a rack gear and the VST. I wish I could remember who that was. I think he comes in here every once in a while. Haven't heard from him in a while.
That might be Steve. I used to listen to him a lot, and he would go back and forth. I think it was Green Mountain Madman. I think he used to call himself, and it could have been him because he'd go back and forth with the rack gear, then he'd go back to digital, with the software and stuff. And maybe Vito. It could have been him too. I think he went back and forth a little bit there too.
Okay, yeah, I can't remember, but I thought I heard Dom back in there. Hey, Dom, are you in there?
Yeah, I was back up. Heat lightning, and it moved off, and the temperature dropped real quick.
Okay, yeah, we're just sitting here dodging all the static crashes. It started to abate just a little bit, but now the static crashes are coming back in there pretty good.
Hey, Kenny, right there's, I really got to hand it to Dominic for his 7300 radio. And I'm not saying this because he's a friend of mine and I've been talking to him. I've heard a lot of 7300s with some, they sound excellent. They get them dialed in. But I'm telling you what, Dominic is really, I haven't heard nobody to compare with him yet. As far as, and I'm serious, I'm dead serious. I'm not saying it because I know Dominic. I'm just telling you what I hear and what I like to hear, and I think he got that thing really adjusted. If I would never look up my waterfall display, I would never know that guy's only running a 3K pocket.